Welcome to the Health by Haven podcast. I'm your host, Haven Quinlan. If you're a multi-passionate wellness enthusiast, then you're in the right place. I'm obsessed with learning as much as I can about the wellness world, and I want to share that with you. Each episode will dive into various aspects of health and wellness through inspiring and informative guest interviews with some solo episodes thrown in. Tune in for all things health, and let's have some fun, shall we? If you're tired of fad diets, restriction, and overcomplicated health advice, and you're ready to prioritize your health and make simple, sustainable lifestyle changes, I would love to work with you. Visit healthbyhaven.com/coaching to learn more about my health coaching program and book your free health coaching consultation today. Welcome back to the Health by Haven podcast. Today, I'm chatting with medical journalist Elara and certified nutritionist Diana. The two are co-hosts of the Steeped in Wellness podcast, colleagues at Matcha.com, and real-life besties. And today, we get into a little bit of everything in the health space, from female friendships to motherhood to matcha to their wellness rituals and non-negotiables. Elara and Diana keep wellness real and fun in today's episode. If you're looking for a combo that feels like a chat with your besties while providing helpful health tips, today's episode is for you. Please join me in welcoming Diana and Elara to the Health by Haven podcast. All right, everyone, welcome back to the Health by Haven podcast. Today, I have two very special guests, Elara and Diana. I'm so excited to have both of you guys on the podcast today. So thank you so much for joining us.
We're so excited to be here.
We love being here. I mean, we just had you on our podcast, so we're just happy that we get to return the favor as guests.
So fun. Okay, so for listeners, let's do a little intro. I'm going to let each of you guys do like a little intro so they can start to hear your voice since it's audio and be able to tell who is who in the conversation. Maybe just give us a little intro into like who you are, what you like to do, what you do in the health and wellness world.
Elara, would you kindly start us off?
You want me to start? I was going to say, if we were going in alphabetical order, Diana, you would go first. D before E. Okay, I will start us off. So I am Elara, for all that have not heard my voice or seen me. Elara Hajipateras. Oh gosh, where to start? Was born in New Jersey on an alpaca farm. Grew up in my formative years up in New Hampshire. Went to a boarding school. In a past life, you know, when I was in high school, I was a big field hockey player, high performance field hockey player, played in college for a few years, then had a bad back injury, studied civil engineering, and then didn't use that degree at all. Went into kind of content creation and news. And then that kind of turned into like search engine optimization specialist, which then kind of morphed into digital marketing, and now has morphed into kind of me now being the chief brand officer for Matcha Cart. So that's kind of where I'm at. And now I currently reside in Greenwich, Connecticut with two little kids, married now for, oh my God, almost 6 years. So crazy, right? Love doing yoga, CrossFit, any movement really. Big kite surfer in my spare time. Not so much lately, as a mother of two, like under two. But yeah, have always like been a big proponent of, movement helps the mind. And it's always been like a huge identity for me in terms of like my physicality. But now kind of in this season of motherhood, which has been different. And I've been trying to give myself a little bit more grace in that department. I'm almost 9 months postpartum with my youngest one. So I'm like kind of coming out of that fog. And that's where I'm at. And Diana, I'll kind of like pivot over to her, is my work wife / like we were, travel besties and, have been like such close friends. And I'd argue now like the closest we've ever been since becoming work wives. But we met each other back when we were like, oh my God, super awkward, like 11, 12 years old, wearing pleated jean skirts and all that fun stuff.
Do you have the skirts though is the real question.
Oh, it was like I think we have a photo. Yeah.
We have a photo of it that we could honestly send to Haven if you just do that fancy thing where you make it pop up. Yeah. Yep. It's like, yes, we
Incredible.
Have all of that. Those like belts that like weren't belts that you would just kind of like overlay. Yes. Sophie shorts. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Roll them up twice.
All about it. Yeah. Midi on the butt, just like having words, on your butt. That's always great.
I remember, I'll get into my intro in a second, but I remember Elara came out to visit you. Like Elara said, we've known each other for a really long time. So when I was like 13, I came out to visit, and my mom is lovely and wonderful, but she's not the mom that's gonna like take you to the mall and go shopping. And I came out to visit Elara, and her mother did take us to go shopping. And I think we went to like Abercrombie. And I had so much fun. She bought me all the clothes that I really wanted, but like couldn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The quasi inappropriate, like those little, like they had those like little, the booby shorts where it's like the buttons, right? And then
Yep.
you would like layer it with like kind of the lace camisole underneath, and there was like
Yes.
Uh,
3 layers. Yeah.
yes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. You guys are really bringing me back. This is amazing.
Some jelly chokers, I think, also may have been
Yeah.
involved in that purchase
The
journey.
best.
Yeah.
I still vividly remember that shopping trip. It was very impactful for me.
Amazing.
Um, so I am Diana. I grew up between Tucson and Salt Lake City. I went to boarding school with Elara for about a year, and then I got homesick and left. But during that year and a half, Elara was kind of like my second family away from home. And I studied anthropology in college. I went to the University of Colorado.
I forgot that. That's so
So
cool.
cool. Did nothing with it. I don't know how anyone makes a cent as an anthropology degree, which I didn't realize until I graduated, and I was like, oh, I have to get a job.
Rude.
So I became a yoga instructor. I was always really interested in nutrition and health, but I knew that being a doctor wasn't like what I wanted to do. So it took me a little bit to figure out how I wanted to weave that in. I became a yoga instructor. I went to Costa Rica for a little bit. I was a server at a restaurant for a couple of years. I worked at a bar. And then I was at a yoga class, and this girl that I knew from high school, she said, oh, I'm getting my master's in nutrition. And it was like this light bulb went off, and I didn't even realize that was an option. So immediately I was like, oh, that is what I need to be doing. So I went and got my master's in nutrition. I worked as a health coach for a little bit. And then I had just quit a job that I wasn't super happy about. And Elara and I met on a family vacation. And she was like, well, why don't you come over and join me at Matcha. So I did that. So I started developing recipes and writing content and talking about nutrition. So it's kind of half of what I do. And then the other half is really focusing on nutrition and helping people with their health and overall feeling better. But I love what we get to do. And it's so fun working with my bestie, who is also the godmother to my son and second to be son. I'm pregnant right now with my second boy.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, we're each other's godmothers.
The nonas, yeah. They're gods. Yeah. We call them, they're all god siblings. And it was so fun. Like we were all out actually in Tucson last week together with the boys. And it's just like so fun to see. It's like,
yeah,
quite
we
surreal.
all have boys. We're just boy moms.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, I love that for you guys though. I feel like it fits the vibe of like, I don't know, you guys are like normalizing, well, one, not doing something with the degree you earned, which same, by the way, my degree's in architecture and interior design. So yeah, who made 17-year-olds decide what they want to do with the rest of their lives?
Ridiculous when you say it that way. Yeah.
Yeah. And just like, I don't know, going with the flow and prioritizing health without like making it so serious. So
yeah.
Let's get into that a little bit more. I want to learn more about, I love that you shared the story of how you met because I was actually curious about that, but I want to learn more about Matcha, you guys working together. Like, how did all of that come to be?
Ooh, well, yeah, to Diana's point, like when was it? What year was it? 2020? It was COVID times, right? Which like all those years kind of blend together.
I know it's just one. I think it was, well, I think I joined, you came on to Matcha, what, 2019?
I came in, yeah, 2020. It'll be 6 years.
Okay.
It'll be my 6-year anniversary. So it must have been like the following year. I had been there for at least a year. It was like we were kind of coming out of the COVID fog. I was over here, I think, getting right. I'm trying to think. It's hard. COVID times. It was like the end of COVID times. And Diana had been working with the nutritional company. She wasn't happy. She was completely like undervalued. She was in turn undervaluing herself. And like, I don't know, the dynamic of me and Diana has always been like, I don't know. When I see Diana, like there's so much like admiration and love and like zero judgment. I'm just like, she is superwoman and she could just take over the world. And I think that it goes both ways. Like, both of us, like we are each other's biggest cheerleaders. And I was just like, this is bullshit. Like you're amazing and you need to value yourself. And, I think the thing that's special about a relationship is that we hear each other and we're like, yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's like, right, it's an
Yeah.
internal voice that we all need. Um, and that kind of gave her the push to have her come over and us start working together. And I think both of us like have never really thought that we would ever like be like doing mostly writing as a living. At
Mm.
least me, it was like that's why I was a civil engineer. I was like, I'm a numbers person, like this or that or visual. Like I hated writing. And then it kind of became this thing of like, well, but if we learn this skill, right, that so many people don't enjoy doing, right? That is a skill set that is utilized and that is useful, right? And that people are going to pay us money for.
Hmm.
So we kind of realized that, and matcha was kind of in this position where it had been around for a few years. It was before the huge matcha boom before, right? There was matcha at every cafe and
Hmm.
like every TikTok reel that you were looking at. And we had a chance to really establish ourselves with this like OG matcha company, which now we are approaching our 10-year anniversary this year.
Wow.
Pretty nuts. Yeah. And it was like when I think Diana first came on the team, I mean, we were still under 10 employees in total, right, Diana?
Yeah, we were little. We were tiny.
We're tiny, tiny, and
We
now
were
we have
tiny.
over 40 employees. And, I was actually just staring at our organization chart this morning and I'm like, oh my God, it's like there's just so many connections and so many people working, and it's very exciting. And it shifted from, me and Diana just kind of being in our little, like, writing educational content silos to now, working with people, managing people. What are we doing as far as the brand in person and doing events and selling in person and growing this brand and working with other brands and doing collaborations, and it's been super fun.
Yeah, I think to Alara's point about, I feel like working with a bestie cannot always turn out well, but for us, it's been like truly one of the greatest privileges of my life. I think a lot of female friendships, I've always felt like there's an underlying competition or
Mhm.
like, like we're happy for each other, but there's always this like, well, who's on top and like who's doing this? And Elara came into my life when I really needed her and was someone who just so championed me and was a forever supporter. Um, and I just, yeah, I really, it's a friendship that I just so value because there's never been, it's just support and love and like pushing each other to do better. And also like, if we need to complain for 10 minutes, like, hey, I got you. Let's chat through it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and working together is so fun, especially in this, we had babies together. So it, like she had a baby and went on maternity leave and I took over, and then I had a baby and went on maternity leave and she took over. And so we like, if she's having a rough day, then we just really have each other's backs. And it's been a really wonderful balance. And I think a very challenging season of life, especially if you are a mother and work.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, yeah. It's kind of crazy. Like, and as you're talking, Anna, it's like, people ask me, like, what's the secret sauce? How do you, have this best friend slash work wife? And like, I don't know, like, why we lucked out. Like, I don't know why it's just nothing but love. And I don't really know what the secret is there other than like, there's a huge element of luck to it, right?
Well, there's something to say for childhood best friends. Like they've seen you through every stage. Like that you guys were there for each other's awkward middle school years. I have two best friends that I still have to this day that I've met. Like I don't remember not knowing them. And that's just a different level of genuine friendship where you're always gonna have each other's back. So I just love hearing you guys like say that about each other.
Yeah. And what's interesting, Laura and I, there wasn't like that, nothing
Yeah.
happened. We just kind of lost touch for like, I don't know, 8 years. We didn't really talk in college. Like it wasn't, like we would follow each other on Instagram when that became a thing. And with like, I kind of knew what was going on with her life, but we weren't really, I wouldn't say we were close. And then we came back together and reconnected. And it was like, now if we go a day without talking, I'm like, where are you?
I know, literally, like after being in Tucson the last week, I like called her on Sunday. I'm like, I haven't heard from you for 24 hours. Like, are you okay?
Wellness check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Wellness check-in. Yeah, I think we both just kind of like we're very much, people when we were in the season of life when we were in high school and college, like we were just in it, man. We were just enjoying college, and we're not the closest by any means. And then I randomly had a work trip out to Salt Lake City at the time, and I was like, Dana's in Salt Lake City. I'm just gonna ask her if I can stay with her. I was like, "Can I come stay on your couch and like sleep next to your dog?" And Diana was like, "Oh my God, absolutely!" And I just remember coming there and being like, it's this flurry of emotions. Like I was excited, I was anxious, but more than anything, just excited. And I remember going out to dinner. She brought me out to this Indian restaurant with her and now her, I don't know, you guys were married at that point or maybe not. Like her
No, no,
yeah,
just
and
dating.
her boyfriend at the time, Harley. And I just remember just being so excited to see Diana that I just was nonstop speaking at them for like an hour. And like, I don't think Harley at the time, like maybe got in 2 or 3 sentences. He just went nonverbal and was like, who is this hurricane heading towards Diana? And like, do I like this? Do I not like this? And then yeah,
He
and then
loves
from
you.
there, yeah, I know. Oh my God, we love each other. And then from there, like the gate's been opened, and we were both like kind of at a time in our life where like we had like our long-term boyfriends, and we are like, come on, when are they gonna propose? Like when are we,
Yeah.
gonna do the song and dance? And I remember we'd kind of like wah wah to each other about that, and be like, he's gotta pick it up, he's gotta pick it up, and now here we are, what 10 years after that, married with 2 kids,
Boys,
kid
yeah.
on the way, or boys, yeah. And the husbands like get along great, and we do
Yeah.
vacations all together, and it's just a dream.
Oh, that's the kind of friendship everyone wants. So I love hearing it. And I love like hearing other women lifting each other up. Like, way to go. We need more of that. Okay, so talk to me then about seasonal shifts in your friendship for when you guys both became moms. Because like I do not have children. I have a lot of friends who are in that like kind of new mom phase. So for people who are listening, whether they are a new mom or whether they have friends that they're trying to support when they like really, like me, I haven't been through it. Like what was that like for you guys? How can friends better support each other in that stage of life?
Ooh, that's a good question. Do you want to take
Yeah,
that
that is
one
a good
first,
question.
Diana?
I was just going to say that I think I hate saying this, but I also think it's true that you just don't know until you know. So like Elara had her son 6 months before I had mine. And while I was pregnant and I felt like okay, like I know how to support her. Like you just don't know until you know. And I have friends that I'm really close to that don't have babies. And I think just recognizing that like, hey, I can't go grab dinner at 7 p.m. on a Friday. Like you are gonna have to come over to my house and
Mm,
Yeah.
probably watch my toddler while I cook dinner and we gotta eat at 5 and we can't eat at 5:05. It has to be at 5, So like I think that it is a season of life. If one friend doesn't have babies and one friend does, that maybe it is a little unequal and it is a little unbalanced. And I think giving it grace that it will swing back around. Like I think in those really early days, no, I can't support you in the way that I would love to, but I will hopefully eventually get back to that. Um, and having friends that do have kids and are in it is so helpful because you can be like, hey, are you co-sleeping with your baby? Because I'm co-sleeping with my baby and
mm.
everyone says it's bad, but this is what's working for us,
Yeah.
which is like an Alara and I, but we just, I think have followed very closely. Like we both had C-sections unexpectedly. Neither of our boys sleep very well. Like we just have done things kind of in tandem. And it's really nice to just have someone to be like, hey, like my baby also doesn't sleep independently. Just because I think that there's so much perfection around motherhood. And so having someone to be in the trenches with you to be like, no, it does not look perfect over here. And especially Laura, because she, I think, like really thrives in the chaos and is will never make you feel guilty about any choice that you're
De-influ
making.
I'm all about de-influencing. Like, what was it, Diana? The other day, she told me that she like kind of sleep trained Elio by accident. Can you give that story? Then I'll tell you how I followed up.
Oh, it was so bad. My husband was out of town and we have a Nana. It's like an app on my phone that tells me when he's awake. But you have to have your phone plugged in because it'll drain your battery overnight.
Mm.
And we just bought a new house. And so my son is in the basement and we're upstairs. And my phone died in the middle of the night and I couldn't hear him. And I don't know what happened. And I haven't been a proponent of sleep training because it just doesn't feel good to me. But
Yeah.
I think we accidentally sleep trained him. And then from then on, he's been sleeping.
Maybe it was meant to be.
Yeah, and then Diana's like, she's telling me that she's like, "Am I bed?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, unless like, I'm like, did you wake up and like open the door and he was like sleeping next to the door, like on top of his, favorite stuffed animal? I'm like, that's happened several times to my son. Or at the point where it's like, I had a lock because my son would like, he's a little bit mischievous at times, Koa. He's, 2 going on 20. And he would just escape from his room and like move out silently. And I'd wake up to like him like in the kitchen on top of the countertop, like holding a knife and like the water thing, like watering the ground. And then I went through a phase of like, I need to lock this child in my room. And then I was like, Diane, am I a bad mom for like basically locking my child in a room so he can't come out and like hurt himself? And it's just
Yeah,
like
I
being
guess.
able to share those crazy moments, right?
Yeah.
Where you're just like, is this like, this is,
Am
I
I
don't
a
know, is it
horrible person?
trauma bonding?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think you can do even if you don't have kids, right? Like you can be there for your friend as they're like, hey, am I a horrible person? And
And
then the answer is no, you're doing great.
the answer is no. The answer is always no, and that you're doing great and you're doing the best you can, and it's just part of the journey. And it's right, seasons are always changing, and
Yeah.
you just got to take it with a grain of salt and like realize that, one moment, right, that's not this defining moment for you in parenting. And I think it's important to like handle it with humor and give yourself grace.
Yeah, well, and at the crux of that, like whether or not you have kids, I think is sharing with others like what's actually going on because we live in this world where like we're curating everything perfectly on social media and it's like debilitating to people I think who are like trying to compare themselves to others and like just be real. No one knows what they're doing.
No one does. That yeah, the secret's out, guys. Like everyone, this is their first time around the sun, as far as many of us are concerned. Nobody has any idea what we're doing. Everything is made up, money's made up, it's all made up. Like, just
Yeah.
give yourself a lot more grace and you just kind of have to laugh at it. Like it's part of it. I think that life, I always like to say this, it was something that I feel like a coach told me. Life is a game of mistakes. It's what you do after that counts.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Let's pause for a moment, especially if you're in the postpartum season or getting ready for it. After birth, so much of the focus shifts to the baby, and it can be easy for your own care to fall to the bottom of the list. That's why I love the postpartum support package from Avoda Massage Therapy. It's built around the idea that you deserve support too. This package includes 2 75-minute in-home visits so you don't have to pack up yourself or your newborn to get care. You'll also receive 2 postpartum massage sessions designed to help your body rest, recover, and gently release tension from pregnancy and birth. Avoda also includes a castor oil pack and a reusable heated water bottle, so you have simple, supportive tools to use between sessions when your body needs a little extra warmth and care. The full package is available for $680, offering consistent, thoughtful support during a really tender time. If that kind of postpartum care sounds like something you'd appreciate, you can learn more about the postpartum support package at avodamassagetherapy.com. Let's chat like your health philosophy. Personally, like how do you approach health and wellness overall, movement, nutrition, lifestyle, what be it? Like what does that look like for you now and has it changed over time? I want to hear from you too, guys.
Oh man, it's changed a lot over different times. Like right now, it's not as stringent as I've been in the past in terms of, I've gone through phases of being very strict with myself in terms of what I was eating, when I was eating it, right? How much I was eating, how much I was working out in compared to what I was eating, right? Like there was this ratio, there was that perfect scale, and like I would get very anxious, and there was a lot of hours of my days that were spent, thinking about food, thinking about working out. And like there was this constant connection that definitely happened, I'd say, like around the time of college, well into my 20s. And basically, I think up until the time like I was married, right? I put a lot of emphasis into who I was with my physicality and what I looked like. And
And she
I
was
feel
also incredible. You were an incredible athlete. So there's also, I think, like, there's a reason for that too.
it was an identity. It was like part of my identity, right? So I think that's something that I really struggled with as far as like when I reached the motherhood stage of like I had this, picture in my mind that I was going to be this really fit pregnant person and like only gain 25 to 30 pounds, 75 pounds later, baby, with each baby, here we are. And, you can basically, you can have this whole idea of what you think you're going to look like. And there could be a huge deviation from what you imagine. And like, that's okay. It's okay to deviate from, what you're imagining in your brain. But then there's also this balance of like, all right, but then how do I come back to that? Because there's obviously, at least for me, parts of being pregnant and postpartum that have been very difficult from like a mental health perspective, where I don't feel as resilient as I was in the past, and I feel a lot more sensitive and weaker. And like I've always been one of those people where like I haven't really cared too much about what people say. I'm like, well, I know that like, I'm hot shit or this or that, and it hasn't meant much, but like you're a lot more sensitive when it comes to like your hormones and stuff
Mm.
postpartum. And so that's kind of where I'm at is like I'm giving myself a lot more grace. Like I have a son who he's a difficult eater and like, we're always trying to figure out ways like to sneak more calories in. And like, look, inevitably when you're trying to stuff your kid, like foie gras, like with, buttery mac and cheese and stuff, like you're going to end up eating some of that and that's okay. Like it's not the end of the world. And maybe sometimes my workouts these days look like, 10 minutes of using a weighted hula hoop while dancing with the kids and not getting to the gym or two yoga classes back to back like I used to do. Like say I'd go to like, 2 to 4 yoga classes a day. I was also teaching them like Diana.
Mm.
And that's okay. Like you can still see progress. It's just that maybe like the progress is more bite-sized.
I need a weighted hula hoop. That sounds so fun.
It's my new obsession. It's like what's bringing back my waist. I mean, I don't know. Like I like Diana, you saw me last week. You want to see the results of my I'll just here. Look, I fit into jeans this week. This is a big deal, guys.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Elara, with
Weighted hula,
room.
right? That's a waist. That's a waist. Weighted hula hoop. It's just like you got to do what you can and the time you have. It's my new secret obsession for like, reactivating my core.
Well, and
That's
it's
amazing.
fun. So, like, bonus
And it's
points.
bonus points, like, slap on some tunes that you like, put in the AirPods, like get that weighted hula hoop moving. Like it's a good time. Like it definitely like helps my mental state as well. I've only been doing it for a week, so this is, like I will get it with, and like it was funny after the first 2 days I do it, like my mom's looking at me, she's like, did something happen? You have bruises. Like, did someone grab you on your hips? And I was like, no, weighted hula hoop. But, you know,
I love that.
That's
I'm gonna have to try it
yeah.
out.
I highly recommend it. Yeah, that's my latest, like, I don't know, funny thing that I'm doing. Have you guys ever gone through this stage of doing, like putting ankle weights or
Hmm.
wrist weights on while like
Yeah.
walking or running?
COVID for me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think, yeah, around the same time. Yeah, I did that a lot, like, leading up to my wedding. I was all
Oh,
into like,
yeah.
yeah, the weighted walking and
Hmm.
kickboxing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's impossible to be mad when you're like having a dance party, and it basically sounds like that's what you're doing with hula hoop. So I think it's like mental and physical health benefits.
It is. And the kids like it too. So it's just,
Yeah.
sort of trifecta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Diana, what about you?
It's interesting just because I'm pregnant right now. So like I think there's a shift from I think very similar to Laura, like before getting pregnant, I was very active. I had all the time in the world. I love cooking. So it's really easy for me to cook healthy recipes and work out whenever I wanted to. And I've got dogs, so I take them on a hike every day. And then I got pregnant with my first baby, and I was so diligent. Like I worked out every day while pregnant. I felt great. Still gained a lot of weight and had a hard time postpartum, which is also something Laura and I were like, we would text each other, like, I don't feel good.
We'd send each other like photos of us looking fat. That's the other thing is like my other tip to like, friends, hot tip for friends that have postpartum friends, don't tell them they look great when they don't. Like it's
Yeah, you can
okay
just be
that you
like,
don't look you
hey,
can be honest. Like maybe this isn't you're not at like 100%, but that's all good. Like there's,
yeah,
this is just a season, but I think like not lying to someone about it and being like, "Oh my God, you're all baby." And it's like, "I'm not all baby." Like,
yeah,
when I was
yeah,
pregnant is
yeah.
helpful. And we would send each other these like, really unflattering photos of like ourselves and our arms. And it's just like,
It
you kind of just
helps.
have to call it like it is. And there's power in that, just knowing that it's temporary.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's interesting because when I work with clients, I work a lot of times with people who are wanting to lose weight. And I've never been in this space where that was like a major goal for me. I mean, of course, like in college, I was like, well, I want to lose 5 pounds. And like, that's, I think, that's not healthy necessarily, but I never experienced like, oh, I'm really uncomfortable in my body. And I really preach body neutrality with people, but it was interesting to actually have to walk the walk with it, right? And be
Mm.
like, okay, here I am in this body that doesn't feel totally comfortable for me. And this is what I preach to my clients. Like, how do I stay true to my word? Yeah, so that's been an interesting like test, I think, almost for me. And in this pregnancy, I've been exhausted. Like I feel pretty good, but the level of fatigue I have has been unlike anything I've experienced in my life. I think probably just from having a baby who doesn't sleep through the night and being pregnant, I just am exhausted. So while I was super consistent with working out my first pregnancy, I haven't been. My dog walks now are like actual walks around a park rather than up in the mountains. So I'm just doing so much less. And I'm letting it be okay. I think I've gotten a lot better about understanding that things are phases rather than being like, okay, well, this is, I guess, just who I am and I don't work out and I don't feel strong anymore, knowing that this is a phase of my life and it's not going to last forever. And there'll be a phase where I get to focus again on my physical appearance. And for me, that is mostly about feeling strong rather than like, yes, it is nice to fit in my jeans and it's nice to feel confident in my body. And I don't want to take that away from people because it is a real feeling to feel confident in your body.
Don't take that away from me and my jeans.
I know,
right,
it does.
okay,
It
full
feels
disclosure,
amazing.
these are not my jeans. I'm fitting into my mother's jeans, but it still counts.
But still, it does count and it does matter. And I think telling people that like what you look like doesn't matter isn't helpful because it does, and it does matter, you know,
it does
and
impact how you feel.
it does. And I think that that's very true. And also there's this part too that's like, well, I don't work out because I want to fit into a size 2 jeans. I work out because I like feeling strong and I like the energy it gives me and I sleep better at night and all that stuff too, right? So I think it's just been really interesting for me the last 2 years of being like, okay, have more empathy for people who have very specific body goals. And also the why behind why you're doing those things has to be, I think, it can be connected to the physical, but there has to be another reason behind it.
All of what you just said, I like feel so connected to. Yeah, snaps.
Is that what it is? I'm like, I hear this is what the Gen Zs do now. Like we're trying to be cool, Haven. We're not in our mid-30s.
I don't know. I'm not Gen Z, but yeah, I'm the furthest person from cool. But I mean, I just agree 1,000% to what you said. Like, society as a whole, obviously, our world is like very polarized, one end or the other of literally any topic. And I think that goes with like body image as well, right? You have like the one side that's like hyper fixated on what they look like, the other side that's like, it doesn't matter, body positivity. But I think neither is the best frame of mind. Just exactly like what you were saying, like maybe you do need to care a little bit about your body composition because of all the other health benefits, including like mental health, like how you feel confidently. And then, you know, maybe not taking things so seriously. Like you said, like things are phases. And that's still something that's hard for me sometimes to like be like, this isn't like who I am anymore. Like how my life is, like, it's not, nothing's final, you know? And so I think that's really important to point out for people.
Yeah, everything is in flux. I think another, when I think of Diana in terms of like, what are your non-negotiables, right? As far as things she always does. Since I knew her middle school, she's always been so good about no matter what type of day she's had, I feel like you always wash your face at night.
Yes,
like,
and brush my teeth.
Brush her teeth. She always brushes her teeth and washes her face at night. Yeah.
Yes, I could be blackout drunk, which I no longer do. That is a past.
But back in the day, but you would still wash your face. Versus, I'm the person who would like wear the makeup for 3 days and be like, "It looks good, right?"
Yeah, yeah. I do think that on that, like, those are the little things too that I'm like, okay, that helps me feel like the version of myself that I like. I will say though, in this pregnancy, my gums have been really sensitive because that's a thing that happens, and so I've been like, do I want to brush my teeth anymore? They hurt.
My non-negotiable is my skincare routine as well. But it's funny. It's like my focus is more like it's how I start my day is when I like, and then I, you know, also have a skincare routine at night. I don't always do that, but my morning, it's like how I start the day. That's kind of my non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Hey, Haven, what's yours? Do you have one?
Well, movement probably, but with a caveat of like, obviously I'm taking rest days.
Yeah.
But even on those rest days, I like to use that window of like morning movement as like, oh, I'll just walk my dog a little bit longer, or like, you know, make it a ritual. And that's what I was gonna say is like, it sounds to me like your all's non-negotiables. Like I like to view it as like a ritual or a routine versus like, I don't know, like habit or something sounds like a little bit more like forced, like, oh, like I have to do this. But like you said, it makes you feel like the best version of yourself. So like even when things are in flux, like you're pregnant or you're postpartum or whatever phase of life you're in, that maybe things are out of your control, like that's the thing that kind of like brings you back to you. I want to hear like the details of your skincare routine though, because this is something I'm probably maybe 6 months into actually ever caring about this. So I want to know.
Okay, Elara, before you begin, Elara has a fridge for her skincare. She has a fridge in her bathroom.
It's my
Stop.
vice, okay, guys? It's my vice.
Okay.
Yeah, like full disclosure, Haven, it's like if me and my husband, if he gets like ticked off at me, the way he gets back at me is he'll open up my fridge, my skincare fridge. He'll grab, some product and he'll just like squeeze it in his hand and just like waste it.
You'll be
And
like,
I'm like,
jokes on you because you don't know how much that costs.
yeah, I'm like, jokes on you because that's really a cost coming back at you. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm very into skincare. It's my vice. I try and get monthly facials. I think that like,
Mm.
if everyone's budget allowed, that's what you should do. All about preventative. Not to say I haven't dabbled in some Botox and all that jazz from time to time. It's been a few years. But I actually recently, I don't know if you guys have seen ads, but I have been trying out Paris Hilton, the original influencer's skincare line, Perry Vay, and I'm absolutely loving it.
Oh,
You
no.
guys want to hear what the deal is?
Please tell me like all of your steps. Like I really want to know everything.
Okay, so I like to do my skincare routine. It starts in the shower. So I'll go in the shower and I will use a cleanser. When it is wintertime, I live in Connecticut, so it's like, really cold and dry in the winters. I like to use a milk-based cleanser. If it is post-workout, I like to use more of a purifying cleanser. So not so milky, something that's going to be a little bit more, it's going to clean out your pores a little bit more. I use more of I guess a purifying cleanser or foam-based cleanser, like in the summer months, milky in the winter months, like to begin, just to kind of offset. If I have like a really hard workout, I'll use the purifying cleanser in the winter as well, like after I do a workout. That is not happening as much as I would like as of late. So it's been milky. So I do my milk-based cleanser. I come out, I dry my face, and then I'm using any sort of serums. So that's right, like the thing that's going to be feeling like very oily. So like I love like a vitamin C hyaluronic acid. So I'm putting that on my face, just like a few drops. And then after that, you're going to want more of like a fatty cream to kind of set that in for the day. So that can be something that like ideally also has a little bit of SPF. So I put that on. You're looking at like, an SPF 50 throughout my day. And then I'm going to cleanse again at night. If I cleaned in the morning, like say I used a purifying cleanser, I'm absolutely going to use a milky cleanser at night because I don't like to strip my face too much. And then I'm going to reapply my serum. And then that really fatty layer that I'm putting on at night is going to be a night-based cleanser. Or I love this brand called Valmont. They have this product called Prime Renewing Pack. This is not an ad. I just love them. But if you guys want to sponsor me, awesome. That you can basically use as like you can supercharge your day cream. You can use it as a night mask. You can use it as a night cream. I like to call it instant Botox. So I lather a bit of that on and stick it on my face like quite a bit to the point where it's like if you touch me, it's going to be sticky. But then I wake up and my face, wakes up feeling very supple and nice despite like sleep deprivation or being too dehydrated. My other thing too is like I drink a lot of water, especially as like a nursing mother, exclusively nursing. Like I'm just constantly getting like all of my nutrients and hydration like stripped from me from the baby. So I have this giant like 32-ounce jug that I just unabashedly roll around with, and I always make sure that it's full and fresh, like in the mornings and at night when I go to bed, and like whenever I wake up, I'm like taking big swigs of that. So that's like also a key component of my skincare is making.
You also don't wear makeup. Like I don't feel like you put stuff on your
yes. So I never wear makeup. I will wear eyeliner. Like I was at a wedding down in Palm Beach this last weekend, and I put on like a little bit of eyeliner. That's it. But I do think that's like another thing is that because I'm not like putting makeup on my face, I don't really have any like makeup remover or like stripping that happens, because I do think that like there's that fine balance of like you want to clean your face but you don't want to strip it dry. So you don't ever want to have that feeling of like after you've washed your face, right, it feels almost like tight. Like that's actually not a good thing in my opinion. You don't want to get rid of all the oils, like the oils in your face, like that's a good thing. It's a balance, right? Where you don't want to have too much of an oily face where you tend to get breakouts. But you want just enough to keep those wrinkles at bay.
Okay.
I mean, I can go more into details,
No,
but
I'm
like that's generally where I'm at.
This is good. This is why sometimes I have like skincare professionals on the podcast because I'm like, this is actually selfish. I need you to tell me what to do. So this is good. This is good. You're like confirming some of the steps that I've put into my routine. Are you using like a retinol or like a under eye
No
cream or
No,
anything?
so I don't use an under eye cream or retinol. I find I have sensitive skin, so like I don't use retinol yet. I will do so twice a week. I will do more of like a hydrating mask. There's actually this great it's like I think it's got to be around $12 on Amazon. It's called Rice Food. And it's basically just kind of like almost like a white rice paste that I just like splotch on my face like while I'm taking a bath and I'll leave it on for about 10 minutes. So that's like kind of a little rehydrating treatment I'll do for myself twice a week. The other thing I'm obsessed with is the company Biologique has these sheet masks where like I didn't do it today. I'm so sorry. But usually it's like what I'll do before, say, a wedding or before a podcast or before I'm going out to an event. And it just like gives me such a beautiful, luminous, natural glow, which I love. Like I love that kind of luminous, radiant look without like using any products.
Mm.
The Biologique sheet masks, I can like send you the exact name of those. I'm a big fan of using those for events or like when I travel. Like I think it's always great to like add some extra hydration whenever you're doing any sort of air travel, like very, very
Hmm.
important. Um, I'm not the biggest fan, honestly, of eye masks and stuff. Like for me, like the Prime Renewing Pack or whatever day cream I'm using, like that's what I'm using like as my eye cream. I don't use a specific eye cream. I do think that as far as lips go, I'm a firm believer of like if you become reliant on chapstick, then that actually is going to lead your lips to dry out. So I don't use any. Once again, it just comes down to like, are you hydrated or dehydrated? If you're
Mm.
hydrated, like your lips should be fine and not cracking. I mean, to an extent, right? Unless you're going out and it's like crazy weather. If it's crazy weather and stuff, I will just use, I have like Aquaphor I use on the kids. Like I'll just lather
Hmm.
on some Aquaphor on my lips or my cheeks if I'm going out into extreme temperatures, and that's very effective as well. Yes.
I love it. I think you could write a whole guide on this. I mean, you probably already have, but you can like sell it as an ebook.
Oh, thank you, Haven. No, well, it's like, as you can tell, it's just something that I'm very passionate about. And like, my husband's always like, well, he's watching me do my skincare routine. He's like, can you like do it for me? Can you like do it to my face? And I joke with Diana, you know how like men have their barbers and like the barbers know all their secrets. It's kind of
Yeah.
like the same thing for like me with my facialist. It's like my facialist knows all my secrets.
They're like part therapists as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And like I'm one of those people who's super annoying the whole time I'm getting facial. I'm like, what are you putting on my face? Why are you putting on my face? How much are you putting on? Like, what would you put on instead? Like, what's making you choose to do this? But it's just
Yeah.
I get a complete kick out of it. And maybe in a future life, right? Diane and I will create some sort of skincare line, but
Oh,
Oh,
yes. I will can
right?
also confirm that Elara has the best skin of anybody I know. Her skin
Oh,
is like incredible.
that's very,
you're
very
glowing
sweet.
And
right
she
now.
has no wrinkles. She has no wrinkles.
Yeah.
I mean,
Amazing.
look at Diana's face and also like her smile, like a testament to her amazing dental care. I think like I've asked her several times, I'm like, which toothpaste do you use? Like, can I please use that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us your evening routine then, Diana. I want to hear.
Oh, no, mine's a disaster right now. Mine involves
But you
You're
always
like,
wash your
I
face.
always
What do
I
wash
you
my
wash
do
your
face
face
and brush
with?
my teeth. So tell us the
Yeah.
details. People want to
in
know.
I shower unwillingly, I might add. I don't want to shower and I force myself to go shower. And I usually wash my face in the shower. I've been using, what is it? I've been using an oil-based cleanser and I actually do really like it.
Oh, yes. Actually, that speaks I've been using, I should say, I like the LMS cleanser that like is the one where you literally before you even go into the shower or get it wet,
Dry.
dry. So you put it
Yes,
like you
dry.
take a little slab, you mix it around on your hands, apply it dry to your face. Then you go into the shower
Yeah.
and
Mm.
slough it off using, I'd say, like a hand towel. You want to like have a
Yes.
hand towel to take that off if you're using that type of cleanser. And those are also very effective. Like compared to a milk, I'd say that that's like a nice balance between a milk-based cleanser if you feel like that's not doing enough and like a purifying that's stripping. That's like
Mm.
meeting in the middle, especially great if you have combination skin.
So
Mm.
yeah, I that's what I've been using. I have this like it's by Ilia. It's like a sunscreen, like tinted sunscreen.
Hmm.
Um and it takes it right off, which is like I love. Like it takes off mascara, it takes off everything, but then it doesn't leave that tight feeling like Laura was talking about. So
Yeah.
I do that. But yeah, I unwillingly shower, I wash my face,
Do you not like
and then
showering? I like feel like I use showering like under hot water as like a reset. Like I'll go in like a rotisserie chicken because the water's so hot, just like, and that's like, okay, all right, I can go back out and restart.
Yeah, I think I feel like I'm broken. I feel like everyone loves to shower and I hate it. I hate showering.
Do you like
I don't hate
bathing?
it. I think what I don't like is that then I'm cold and my hair is wet on my back, which is like, I don't like it dripping down my back. And then I'm cold and my skin is dry. So then I put lotion on and I'm standing there cold. And I think
Yeah.
that that's the, like, I just don't like being cold after the shower.
Mm.
So I do like taking a good bath. Um, yeah, I am absolutely diligent about brushing my teeth and flossing every night. I do that. That
Ooh,
is
you know
like
what I
a
feel like
non,
would
and
be a
then,
game changer for you is
mm,
like you have to have like a nice like waffle robe to jump into after the shower. Like hang it right over. Have you tried that?
yeah.
And it's like
No,
you get
I
right
was
into the
thinking about
robe
that. And then you just get in the robe. I
and then
know.
you do the
That's,
Give
skincare
yourself,
yeah,
routine in the robe and you feel like you're having a spa
I
moment.
was gonna say,
yeah,
make it like a spa experience and maybe you'll look forward to it.
right. Rather than being like, I have to go shower because I have to be a part of society.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
so I have curly hair. Um,
That's the other part of it, I think, is
that's
like
the
that's
other
very
part of it.
complicated. Like my hair is like, whatever, straight, wavy.
Yeah. So I do think, yeah, I think that that also adds to my like, I, yeah, I like showering at night because I like feeling clean before bed, but then it doesn't work for the hair situation. Anyways, it's just like I
You
haven't
have a
found.
lot of hair products. Like when we were in Tucson
It's
last
a
week, I was
lot.
like
Okay.
in Diana's shower and I'm like, is this what it's like to have curly hair? There's like 6 bottles. I was like, which one do I use? And I was like, me being me, I've never been very particular about my hair routine. Like Diana's much more diligent about that. I use whatever's in the shower, as you can hear. And I was like, I'm gonna like, what happens if I use curly hair products? And I was like, there's all these defrizzing, and I'm like, just the shampoo and conditioner. And I was like, does my hair look more voluminous, Diana? Because I
It
used your.
did. I
Thank you.
do. The way that Elara is about skincare is the way that I am about hair care.
Yes.
So then tell the people what the hair care products are.
Okay, so first and foremost, if you have curly hair, you have to go get a curly haircut. That was life changing for me. So I go in dry. Post having babies that actually changed. I used to have like ringlets, and
Ringlets. Yeah.
now it's not. It's like a little bit more wavy since having babies, which is sad. But I go in with a dry, and they cut each individual curl,
Wow.
so they don't like do it wet. Anyways, so that's a game changer if you have curly hair. And then I only shampoo like maybe twice a week, which probably I think straight haired girls do too. But I think especially with girls, you don't want to dry them out. And then I only put conditioner on my ends. And then I've been using the Diva Curl products. That's just, I just know them really well. There's some amazing products out there. I just can't remember their names. And I do have like 6 different products in my shower. But I use a foam first and you like squeegee. So you get your hair, it has to be super wet. You want wet noodles. And then you place the product in your hand. You use a lot of product. And then you like gently like put your hair between your hands and flatten it out, kind of like you're making like pasta or something.
Okay.
Um, and then so I do a foam, I do a gel, and then I do a coconut cream.
Wow.
And then you take the bottom of your hair and you scrunch upwards, just like really gently, like maybe twice, where you just like scrunch up and kind of pulse your hands. Um,
What
yeah, and
happens if you
then
shower and don't do that? I guess is my question.
it just looks like there's no definition to the curls. It just gets like really big and floofy. You know how Hermione's hair in the books, she was
Mm.
like described as like really big, floofy hair.
Floof.
That's what I look like. Yeah. And then
Ah.
when I get out, I just gently do the same thing with a towel. But the goal is to be like very gentle with your curls and keep the wet noodles in like a spiral.
Do you ever have a
Okay.
cap? What if you like maybe that could be the game changer for you, like wearing the cap and just
Yes,
showering the body?
some people, yeah, okay. So you can do that. You can also, when you get out of the shower, they call it like plopping, where you plop all your hair on this towel thing and then you wrap it up.
I
Now I
love
can
the
It's a
understand
term
thing.
why
It's a
showering is a
thing.
little bit more stress for you because I'm like, there's a lot of steps.
Yeah.
Like I can handle my skincare steps, but now I'm like, that's a lot. I'm like, sometimes condition ends, brush done.
It's a lot of
If anything,
steps.
it's a
I
lot.
know. It's a lot.
Amazing. Okay. I'm gonna bring us
Redirect
back
us,
in.
Haven. I'm like, we're just like, we
How
just
did
went
we
down
get here?
a tailspin of
No, I love it
hair and
though. I love
skincare.
it. Okay, let's bring it back into your podcast though. You guys talk about a lot of different health topics on there, which I love. Same. So, how did it come to be? And then, like, maybe what's some of the things that you've chatted about on there that you've really enjoyed learning about?
Gosh, I don't even remember how it came to be. Do you?
I think it was just kind of like, so we both work for Matcha. in the marketing department, and our CEO was kind of just like, you guys have this like great rapport, like you should do a podcast. We'll sponsor it. Do a podcast, do a podcast. And that just kind of eventually came to fruition. Right. And here we are now filming season 4, like, which is pretty crazy. And, we've talked about everything from cannabis use as a mom to ketamine to, toxins in your household to Reiki therapy for your dog. Um, I don't know. Those are the ones that pop in my head. I mean, I have found like the ketamine treatments to be quite interesting. I think the hidden toxins in your home, quite interesting. We had someone on that kind of like had this whole idea of everybody has their own food story, which I think would be very interesting
Mm.
to you, Haven, of just kind of like in terms of like the relationship with food and your body image and health, just kind of what is your food story? Like who were the villains? Who were the heroes? What's
Mm.
your first food memory? What
Wow.
was your first positive food memory? When was your first negative food memory? Like I found that quite interesting.
Yeah. And yeah, we've got some great guests coming up too that we're recording now. We just had an amazing conversation with a woman who founded Kin, the non-alcoholic like adaptogen drinks. Super excited
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, I think Elara and I just try to keep it very similar to you, Haven, just very conversational and no topic off limits, and bring in people who are experts in their field to kind of teach us something.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
also people's personal journeys. So, like, we had a friend of mine on there. In a past life, I worked at ABC News as a field producer, and I had a friend who he specialized doing like war coverage, like, spent time
Wow.
over in Iraq, Afghanistan, and obviously the PTSD that came with that and the drug use. And he kind of was in and out of rehab and how he kind of came out on the other side of it. And that was quite fascinating, right? That was a
Yeah.
good one.
Absolutely. Well, I found the ketamine conversation very interesting because that was not one that I had heard like on other podcasts. So I will say I really liked the episode, and everyone listening should go over and listen to Steeped in Wellness. Little plug for you guys. But yeah, I love it. Okay. What's one health concept or trend or whatever that you guys are like, ugh, like I wish this would go away? Or like a health myth that you hear people repeating that you're like, no, we need to debunk this. Something you're over in the wellness world.
Anything come to mind,
Oh,
Diana?
so many things. Yeah. Do you have something?
Um, well, okay. You know what I really dislike
Mm.
is the myth that all women, when you're breastfeeding, the weight will just
Oh,
melt off.
that's a good one.
I call bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard one because I think that like, right, every body is different. Every pregnancy is different. Every postpartum journey is different. And it is not the case that when you're breastfeeding, the weight is just going to melt off of you. If anything, right, there's a lot of times where women actually end up gaining weight postpartum because the hunger that you feel from breastfeeding, if you thought it was bad, like as far as when you were pregnant, it's like a whole nother level, especially in the beginning, like when your milk supply is revving up. So that's, I think, the one that just comes to mind. That's
Hmm.
very much like applicable to my life right now.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Um, I think the first one that comes to mind for me is the carnivore diet. I have a real thing against the carnivore diet. Mostly because the vast majority of people aren't eating enough fiber, and we're seeing colon cancer rates go up because people aren't eating enough fiber. So I think having an all meat diet is just like ridiculous, and I feel like it's been fueled largely by these like Instagram bros spewing misinformation. So I'm also going to group just like solely getting health and nutrition advice from Instagram into I think it's so easy to be like, well, this study says this, and so you should believe me. But the problem is that some of those studies were done with like 3 people, and they were really poorly done. And yes, it was a scientific study, but like is not something that we should be taking real claims from. Um,
They're
so I'm
funded
going
by
to
like
group
Tyson Foods or something.
yeah, or yeah, exactly. And it's literally like there's a sample group of 3 people,
Yeah.
right? So like I think just be very cautious about how you're getting your nutrition information. And even if it sounds very reputable, like find the people who are reputable. And I think it's safe. You can't obviously like look into everything. So I think have the people that you trust, but be judicious about where you're getting information from. And I do feel like a lot of it has kind of driven this like super meat diet and fear of fruits and vegetables onto the world. Not
Another
saying that
thing
meat is bad. Like it's okay to eat meat, it's just
you know
we
me,
should
I think
also
like I
yeah.
basically only ate meat yesterday because that's all I could get my hands on. And that's fine. I had a carnivore day. Like today,
I
and
heard
I'm gonna
Elara
eat.
loves the carnivore diet. I don't know.
Guys, it's my thing actually. Diana, I don't know if there's a deal breaker for you. Okay, the other thing that comes to mind, it's kind of a little bit bothersome to me, but I think that Diana can shed a little bit more like light on this because she runs into this as far as her field is like these compound GLP-1s or these kind of like the mini Ozempics and the mini Manjaros that are just like for the people, it's getting marketed to people that are like, lose those last stubborn 5 pounds, or like, it's like you've always just wanted to be 10 pounds lighter, but there's nothing like, they're quite healthy, right? And it's only
Mhm.
for like aesthetic reasons. I'm not liking that trend and where we're going as a society as far as like, the magic pill. And this is not to say that I do think that there are people, right, where it is completely acceptable and there's a lot of ethic or there's a lot of rationale in terms of why they should be on these GLP-1s. So I'm not knocking it. But it does bother me when, I don't know, people are wanting to use it when they just feel like, it's this aesthetic reason of like, I just need to lose those extra 5 pounds, that I'm not into that trend that we're seeing. And almost to the point where like, as a postpartum mother, I have had people kind of be like, oh, well, like, why don't you just stop breastfeeding? And if you just want to get rid of those last, 15 pounds, and you like just, take a GLP-1. And it's kind of like people at this point, it's like they almost look at you like it's ridiculous that you aren't on one, which is so
Mhm.
crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like that people are not giving
Yeah.
themselves that grace or time is kind of nuts.
Totally agree. I've heard from a couple people who do have larger bodies that they were like, I feel so much pressure from my doctor to like, well, like, why aren't you just doing this? Like, just do
Yeah.
this,
Even though they're comfortable, even though they're
Yeah,
completely
even though they're
happy,
comfortable and they're
all
healthy
of
and
their
they don't
lab
want
work
to
is
take it.
normal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Which I think is, yeah, I don't like that either.
Yeah,
Which
I
is
agree with you guys. I
fascinating.
think we chatted about this maybe when I was on your podcast, so I
Mhm.
won't go on my high horse about it again. But yeah, obviously there's gray area for everything, but I agree with your sentiments.
Do you have something that comes to mind as far as like
I mean,
the
that's
latest trend?
definitely a big one. Also, I think like villainizing fruits, like why are we
I
freaking out
can't.
about eating a banana? Like pump
I
the
can't,
brakes,
Haven.
people. Just it's made from nature. There's fiber in with the carbs. It's not gonna like kill you. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, live your life.
Yeah. I can't.
The algorithm isn't feeding this to me, guys. Like
That's good.
the
I
fruits
know
are the
that's
enemy.
good.
So
That's good.
disturbing.
Yeah, it really is. There's
Stay
so
on that side of
many.
Instagram.
I will. I will.
Seriously,
Yeah.
seriously. Okay. The goal of the Health by Haven podcast to help people live their healthiest, happiest life. So I want to hear from each of you guys. What's one thing you're doing that's making you happy and one thing you're doing that's making you healthy lately?
Embrace the silly. Don't take yourself so seriously. I think it's so important to not only be able to just laugh generally, but be able to laugh at yourself and acknowledge that you're human and it's okay not to be perfect. That's a big one for me.
That's a good one. I think I feel like I've really leaned into my like female friendships. Yeah, and that's been so nurturing for me in this game of life phase of life right now.
Yeah. And like to Diana's point, like there is strength in being vulnerable with people, right? I
Yeah.
think that Diana and I both were the type that, we had a lot of shields that we built up in our childhoods and when we were teenagers and stuff. And there's so much power and relief that comes in just allowing those shields to come down, not only with like close friends, right? But also like in a public setting like this in a podcast, right? Like there are things that we've talked about on the podcast that are extremely personal that I think if you spoke to us 5 years ago, we would never maybe even have been comfortable sharing it like with each other, let alone our closest
Yeah.
friends. And here we are, right? And the strength that comes from showing vulnerability.
And what was the second part of the question? What are we doing to be a little healthier?
Healthy,
Yeah.
hydration. That's I guess my big and daily cup of matcha. But I do want everyone to know that like Diane and I are both, we love coffee as well. So it's a balance. This isn't like stop drinking your coffee. Sorry, my dogs conveniently bark at all the wrong times. But yeah, I just think having like a daily ritual of matcha is really, really wonderful. and coffee as well. Just kind of having a way to give yourself a nice little healthy boost is important, especially when you might be a little bit sleep deprived if you're a young parent like myself.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been traveling quite a bit this past month. So I think one thing I'm doing to be a little healthier is cooking at home. And I'm so excited about just not eating out. We ate out so much when we were traveling. And I think one of the best things people can do is to just cook at home. So I've been really excited about cooking at home lately, even though it means that my kitchen is destroyed. Like, in order for me to cook at home, it means that my toddler is destroying my kitchen. And I'm okay with that right now.
Yeah, well, and they can be a part of it. And how fun is that?
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. Which also means a mess, but that's okay.
It's fine. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
All right, to wrap us up, I have some rapid fire this or that questions. How about Elara, you answer, and then Diana, you answer, and then we'll
Perfect.
move on to the
Okay.
next one. Sound good?
Okay, got it.
Good.
Morning or evening workout?
Morning,
Morning.
Running or walking?
walking,
Walking.
You guys are clearly besties. Lifting or body weight?
body weight.
Lifting.
Ooh,
Juice or smoothie?
juice right now.
Smoothie. I've been craving smoothies.
Coffee or matcha?
Both. You can't break me there.
I was gonna be like, I feel like I have to say matcha, but if Laura said both, then I'm saying both too.
I'm a both gal also, so I love that you guys are saying that, especially for the brand you work for. I did have matcha this morning though, and I used the adorable bowl that you guys sent over, so thank you.
Oh, good.
Yay.
Okay, salad or bowl?
Bowl.
Salad.
Pizza or pasta?
Both.
Yeah, that's unanswerable.
I know, that one feels a little criminal. Tacos or quesadilla?
Quesadilla.
Tacos.
An early riser or night owl?
Early riser. Not by choice.
Early riser.
Oh, well, thank you guys both so much for coming on. I had so much fun with all the twists and turns our conversation took today. Where can people find you guys online, follow along, listen to your podcast, give us all the good stuff?
People can find us at Steeped in Wellness on Instagram and matcha.com for all of our matcha products.
Yep. Steeped in Wellness podcast. And if you're interested in also, learning about matcha, Diane and I, we head up the content there. We have an amazing reservoir of different matcha recipes, savory, sweet, and just educational information to how many times a day should you have matcha so you don't overdo it, to at what age children should have it, to how it impacts your iron absorption. All that stuff can be found if you just kind of look up our names in matcha, and you can also delve into some of the articles we've written too.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys both so much. I know everyone's going to love your conversation, getting to learn a little bit more about you guys, and head over and listen to their podcasts as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Aiden.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Health by Haven podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to give the show a 5-star rating and leave a review. It makes such a huge difference in reaching new people and spreading the joy of healthy living. I would also be so appreciative if you subscribe to the show in the listening app of your choice so you never miss an episode. Your support truly means the world to me. Have a happy, healthy day, and I'll talk to you again soon.